But right now is Sabrina Zaidan. Sabrina Zaidan has been a WordPress lover since 2010 when she installed WordPress for the advertising agency she was working at, and it was love at first sight. Since that time, there was a long way through design, SEO marketing career to what she's really excited with, WordPress multi-site development. Sabrina specializes in helping web dev teams implement WP Multisite and get the most out of its functionality. Some of her experience is shared on her blog, sabrinazaidan.com. So here today to speak about complex projects made easy with WordPress Multisite. Big round of applause for Sabrina Zaidan.
So, 117 million websites are running right now on the single instance of WordPress. Imagine our regular dashboard, but having this number of websites inside it that you can reach with just one click. This is the actual numbers. This is the actual numbers of the website that we all know, WordPress.com. It has 117 million websites in this network, 136 million users in it, and over 1 billion visits per month. And the thing that makes it happen, that makes it possible, is called WordPress Multisite. And today, I want to share with you some awesome things that this system makes possible. You already know that my name is Sabrina Zaidan. I'm WordPress multi-site consultant. I help development teams to build networks of websites using WordPress multi-site functionality. And today we'll see what is WordPress multi-site. We'll see why you would like to build your next complex project using this system. And we'll see some real-life examples of its efficient usage. So, a quick introduction. What is WordPress multi-site? It is the ability to create the network of websites running on the single instance of WordPress. Basically, you've got a bunch of sites that are using the same code base and database, the same WordPress install, and you have the one command center for it. You can have 3, 10, maybe million of websites in one install of WordPress. How big the number might grow? This is exactly the first reason. I'm sorry. I would love to show you how the system may look like. It may have subdirectory structure. So you have your site.com/subsite1, your site.com/subsite2, your site.com/subsite3. It may have subdomain structure. So you have subsite1.site.com, subsite2.site.com, and so on. But the most coolest thing that you can even use top-level domain names for your multi-site networks. So you have site1.com, completely different site2.com, quite another site3.com that may look like they are not related at all, but they are still using the same instance of WordPress. They are still in your WordPress multi-site network. In all these cases, WordPress multi-site network works the same. It's the place where the things are toasted and from where you can rule the whole bunch of sites. So, how many sites you can rule from your WordPress multi-site network? And this is exactly the first reason to love WordPress multi-site. The scalability to infinity and beyond. There is no limits for number of websites from software side. You've already seen the impressive numbers of the largest WordPress multi-site network, WordPress.com. They have 117 million websites in their install. Another great example is edublogs.org. They have got 3 million of websites. My own personal best for now is 116 websites in the one WordPress install. But the opposite side of such great opportunities is responsibility, because when something goes wrong, it goes wrong on the whole network and your all sites go down. And this is why we have a super admin role in our WordPress multi-site network. This is the second reason to love WordPress multi-site. While each site in the network may have its own admin, editors, subscribers, any other custom user roles like in our regular WordPress install, there is an extra role of super administrator that rule over the whole network. He has unlimited access and all capabilities across the network. He can easily access any website from the network dashboard instead of logging into each site separately, individually. He has to take care about just one single database, make backups and everything. About one code base, update WordPress core just once for the whole network, update plugins and themes just once and install them. He has the ability to install plugins and activate them across the whole network or for some specific particular website. So the super admin role gives you the full control over the WordPress multi-site network. And the local administrator of the sub-site has his regular capabilities as in regular WordPress instance. The organization system is very simple and logical. The local administrator can do whatever he wants on his site, but inside the boundaries set by superadmin. And this is the third reason to love WordPress multi-site, the federated structure. While every site inside WordPress multi-site network exists completely independently, it may have its own plugins activated, it may have its own theme, content, posts, users, media, everything. But the choice of plugins and themes is predefined by superadmin only. Only superadmin has the capability to install plugins, but the local administrator can activate it on his website or not. The same for the themes. The superadmin only can install themes, but you, as administrator of local website, can decide whether you activate the theme on your website or no. And this is this federated-like kind of structure is the heart and soul of WordPress multi-site. It makes it possible for superadmin to keep everything under the control, but still gives the vast opportunities for the customization for each sub-site independently, and makes the system very flexible. The most simple example, you can set the default language for the whole network, but you still can set the default language, another default language for the specific sub-site. The same with plugins and themes and everything. Okay. The opportunity to make the aggregated content is the reason to love WordPress multi-site number 4. You can have news from site A displayed on site B. You can have some maybe top products from site B displayed on site C. You can have network navigation menus. You can have maybe text from all over the network combined together and displayed on the main site. Basically, you can get any information from any website in any place of your WordPress multi-site network. And it's very handy when you want, when your sites are not separate like on WordPress.com, but you have a network of related sites. It's very useful to, and I'll show you the example how it is implemented. And now, the fifth reason to love WordPress multi-site is the IKEA kitchen principle. You can easily add new websites to the network, even not new, not completely new from scratch, but already existing one. And when you need, you can move it out to the single instance of WordPress. It's very useful when you have the business network and you are selling one of the websites. You can just move it out to the single instance and say bye-bye, and there is no problem. And I promised 5, but there is the 6th extra reason to love WordPress multi-site. It is, we can create network of sites, right? But we can go even further and create network of networks. It will get the complicated hierarchy, complicated structure, but it will have the same easy system for management and maintenance. And this is very cool if you have really complex and big projects. Now you are thinking like something like, okay, right, but how can I use it? And I have some examples for you. Examples of complex projects made with WordPress multi-site. And when you are thinking about WordPress network, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, blog network. And this is the most common use of WordPress multi-site. The user signs up at the main site, creates his own blog, for example, user.wordpress.org, right? And starts to fill it with his thoughts. That's why multi-site is the ideal fit for media. And the Reuters, BBC America, New York Times blogs are already using it. Okay, another option is service as a solution businesses. There are all kinds of examples, service as a solution businesses built on top of WordPress multi-site. We've already seen the great, in all meanings, example of WordPress.com. It is the example of service as a solution business. It lets user to get his blog for free. It will be myname.wordpress.com, but they charge additional fee for some additional features. For example, for using your top-level domain name, yourname.com. And this is how different hosting companies, maybe email marketing companies, planners, schedulers can use WordPress multi-site. Okay, governmental organizations. Multi-site is very advantageous when you need a high degree of independence for local subsites, but you still want them to share some common content. That's why it's widely used by government organizations with all their wings and departments. For example, Pension Fund of Ukraine, my native country, which is the main pension plan in Ukraine. There are 24 regions in Ukraine, and each region has its own pension fund department. During years, the local subsites for each regional department appeared sporadically without any control. They were created by different people in different time, and they were administered by other different people, and that's why, needless to say, that they all used to have different design, different content management systems, content strategy, different domain names, everything. It was completely different websites. And in other words, it was a total mess. But the client wanted all websites of regional departments to be combined under one umbrella. So it won't be the collection of 24 separate amateurish looking websites, but it will be modern, efficient governmental portal. So there should be unified design for all departments, shared content across all sites, but still the ability for every local administrator to add local content. The main administrator should have all control over the network, but while the local admins should still be able to add local news and information to their sites. So naturally, WordPress Multisite has been chosen as a solution. The team have done the great work on this project. We created a multi-site network and 24 sub-sites for each regional department. All websites got the same theme, the same design. All the content from the old regional websites were moved to the newly created ones. The navigation menu in this network has very interesting structure. It looks exactly the same over the whole network, but on the regional subsites, some items lead you to the local categories, for example, news at their local, and some items lead you to the main site, for example, services, as they are the same across the whole regions. The advanced custom fields were used to organize the information inside the network, and we managed to set the synchronization across the network, so when the information updates on the main site, it gets automatically updated through the whole bunch of subsites. And every home page of regional department has got the map of Ukraine, where the user divided into districts, where user can see the number of people registered, communities, local contacts, and of course they are linked to the regional subsite. As this is the pension fund, the users are mostly the older person. And that's why it may be sometimes there may sometimes be problems with navigation for them. That's why we set a little reminder pop-up when the user arrives from the this regional subsite to the main site. He has a tiny pop-up reminding him from what local subsite he has arrived. So in case he needs to go back, he can easily do this and never get lost. And WordPress Multisite proved to be the ideal fit for the client's requirements. The team has done the great work to make this all work smoothly. And now Pension Fund of Ukraine has got modern and efficient and easy to use system for all departments. I think that it is the great and rare example of government caring about the people, and I am proud of being able to do my bit. Okay, but not only governmental organizations, but any other organizations that have hierarchical setup can benefit from WordPress Multisite. Just to list few, it may be university. Universities with all their faculties and students creating their own blogs, and here you see the example of Washington State University. of Washington State University, which is administered by a known WordPress multisite expert, Jeremy Feld. It may be franchises companies, for example, the main site for the parent company and sub-sites for the local divisions. It may be restaurants, coffee shops, bars. They often have several locations within a country or city or even across the globe. And while they have some same content, for example, branding and stuff, they would like to have to communicate differently in certain areas. For example, menu items, contacts, and location, and so on. And WordPress Multisite, the fifth example, WordPress Multisite can also help you to build the network of multilingual sites. A separate site is created for each language, and they are all forming the network, and it makes administration much easier. Again, it may be a subdirectory setup. It is the fairly common method. The famous cognac brand Courvoisier is using this kind of setup. They have courvoisier.com/fr for French, courvoisier.com/de for Dutch, and so on. Or subdomain setup, so you have es.com for Spanish, en.com for English, and if it is, for example, Germany-based company, it will have just domain.com for the main website. Or you can have even top-level domain names, like domain.com for English, domain.es for Spanish, and it's very useful to have different domain names, top-level domain names, when you are targeting different local searches in Google ranking, because every domain name has its own domain authority and can get higher position in local search. By the way, you can you can connect. Sorry. You can also connect the website content between each other. For example, you have English version of the post, and you have the same post in your Italian version, and you may have them linked to each other or to other different languages if you want, but may not if you don't want to do this. Okay, sorry. And also you may want to redirect users from the front end depending on the language that user is that's used in the browser of the user to the sub-site. Don't worry if you are thinking of some way to use WordPress Multisite and I didn't name it. It's not supposed to be all-inclusive. But just to give you the basic idea what WordPress Multisite is capable of. So next time when you have a big complex project in front of you, you will say, hey, I know exactly the most efficient way to do this. And now, guys, I have a question to you, a little riddle, and the one who will give the right answer first will get the special present from me, from Ukraine. Please, the riddle is, name the website that everyone in this room has been visited, everyone, that is built with WordPress Multisite. Okay, it was first hand the gentleman in squares.
Yes, the WordCamp website
Right, that's true. WordCamp website is built with WordPress Multisite, and it's another great example of using WordPress Multisite for organizations and for organizing events like these. Thank you. And now it's my turn to answer questions. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. That was a great deal. Hang on. Is this on? Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Right. Any questions at all? Sorry, this lady. I'll just jump to this lady at the front here.
Thank you. Thanks very much. First of all, great talk. I have actually many questions, so I'll try and limit it because I've been became aware of Multisite a while ago, and I've been working on a couple of projects, one very recent, and the other one, I've been working on it for about a year because it's my own project, so you know. However, I then thought that I should move away from Multisite. I was advised to move away from Multisite because it's for an industry, a niche that has complex needs for their websites. They're going to need, pop-ups. They're going to need marketing funnels. They probably need WooCommerce, easy digital downloads and things like that. So I was advised to not use Multisite because all these things might create conflicts and problems. And what you were saying was, I hadn't even realized that actually each website can have a different theme and I'm not a developer clearly, but theme and plugin. I only ever saw network activate and deactivate. I wasn't aware that you could exclude plugins and themes from sites. So what would you say to that? Would you advise if you have websites that have different needs because there are actually individual people that don't know one another, but they just belong to the same industry and they have complicated needs. Do you think that I should keep Multisite or walk away from it?
I should definitely advise you keep Multisite.
Really?
Yes, the things that you are saying they are possible with WordPress Multisite, and the thing is that you can really activate. You have, I haven't told about this, but you have MU plugins directory where you can put plugins that you, as super admin, would like to activate obligatory across whole network. No one can deactivate it. They will be activated in any situation. I don't know. It depends on the network itself. It may be caching plugins or something, but all other plugins you add them, install them, and they can be easily activated or deactivated inside every site. So basically, you can have a plugin installed for one site and not using none other websites will be using it, and for another you have another list of plugins installed, and there is no problem. Themes, the same theme, the same thing. You have themes installed, but to activate it on the website or no, it's completely up to you. And the WooCommerce is going okay with WordPress Multisite. You can do this, and you can do basically everything that you want to do with WordPress in Multisite. And it has nice documentation in Codex. You just go through, and there is the info.
Okay, so revisit project again.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Just
I have
just
more questions, but I'll leave it to. Okay. I'll be generous.
I'm sure Sabrina will be around for the rest of the day, so you can probably catch her after. Any other questions? Yeah.
Hi. So we've got a multi-site which has multiple domains.
Right.
But I find that I have to, when I want to switch from one subsite to another subsite, I need to log in and again.
No, you don't have. There is the cookies. You have to set up cookies, right? So they will be stored across the network, and you won't have to log in and log out. This is the question about the WP config to setting it right. But it's possible. No problems with that. even if you have top-level domains, not subdirectory or subdomain structure, even top-level domains, you can do this.
Okay, I'll be interested in seeing the documentation on that.
Yes, yes, just check it.
Okay, there's a question over here. Hang on 1 second.
This might be a question about a plugin rather than about multi-sites. But if you said about linking in a multilingual site,
Yes.
say a page in English to an Italian
right.
page, saying, these basically mirror each other but in another language.
Yes.
So if you make changes in, say, the Italian page, will that trigger the person who owns the English page to check that it still conforms to whichever the master
You mean
is?
when
Are you
you're
with me?
changing the text inside it?
Yeah, this is a...
No, they are not translated automatically.
No.
You see, you have an English text,
Yeah.
Which is written by person,
Yeah, sure.
right? And another Italian text. So
Yeah.
when you change the Italian text, it won't affect in any way the English text, but they will stay linked.
And if they're linked and you change one,
Yes.
will it warn you that the two now don't match? Or is that
In this
separate?
plugin that makes this possible, I just
Okay,
want
I thought
to
it might
check
be a
the
plugin
name of the
question.
plugin. It's okay. Let me check it and tell you in the break.
Thank you.
It's not possible to do this, but the developer can do this for you. It's small customization. So something like let me know when the linked post has changed, so I go back to another
Double
post
check it.
and double check, and that's all.
Great.
It's possible, I think.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I think, hang on. So there's a question at the back. If we just get that one first, and I'll come to the front here.
So first of all, the plugin you can use for multi-site languages is called Multilingual Press.
Right.
It's quite well
That's
supported.
the one, and there is another one. I was trying to find the name. I'll check it and see in the break.
Cool. You talked about multiple networks. Do you use a plugin for that, or are you doing
Yes,
custom
there is a
stuff?
plugin for that. It's called WP Networks. That's how it calls.
Okay, the one that is popularly supported is WP Multi-Networks, which is
Right.
supported by JJJ, who's one of the core contributors to that.
Can you repeat, please?
WP
Louder.
Multi-Networks is a plugin that I would recommend if you're doing multiple network stuff.
Yes, it is the plugin. Sorry, I can't hear.
WP Multi-Networks is
Right.
the plugin. It's on GitHub.
It's a plugin
Yeah,
to make multi-site networks.
yeah.
Yes.
It adds the UI for it. I mean, the support for
Ah,
multiple
will I
networks is
advise
important.
it?
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a plugin for it.
Basically, it's the only plugin that makes it possible. So I have no another way, no option, not to advise it, because the only way that makes possible network of networks is this plugin.
Yeah.
So you can try it. And here is, can you pass, please, the chocolate from Ukraine?
Was it this gentleman?
Yes, yes.
You've become the most popular man in the room. There you go. Right, there was a question at the front here. Who was it? This gentleman here? Right, 1 second.
We've used multi-site for several projects and have found it to be very good. But one thing that we've never been able to conclusively do is allow sub-sites to share the media library of the
The
parent
media
site.
library, it's a hard
Yeah.
question, right?
Is there a conclusive way to do that yet, or
You
is it still
can
not possible?
reach any, of course, you can reach any media from any website. You can reach from the media from one side, from the another, but you basically cannot upload the media from one side to another. But you can link them.
Yeah.
This is the way how it happens.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I'll
Thank you. This was a great talk. Do you have any recommendations for plugins that we can use to let users have different profiles on different sites for multi-site?
Different profiles on different sites.
Yeah, so rather than having one WordPress profile with like one email address and one bio, have a different bio or a different title or something like that on different sites?
I guess no, because the idea of multi-site is the unique users table. And when you have, you know this, right? When you have a profile on one side, it's combined with your profiles on another side. It doesn't mean that user from one side can access the other sites, but it is once for the whole network. But I will check if there are plugins. Though I think that it's totally controversial for the main idea for WordPress multi-site, but I will check if there are some additional plugin that makes it possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, hang on, I'm facing the wrong way. Is there any more questions? I think we've got time for a couple more.
Right back here.
There's one at the back over there.
Hiya, yeah. So we build websites for sports clubs, and often they've got an organisation or a governing body over that kind of arches over the top of them all. My question is, does the main site have any, you talked about the concept of the main site, does it have any control over the subsites at all, or are they completely independent? Because the idea of news sharing, sometimes they would want to share news that an organisation has posted, but I don't think they would be comfortable with the organisation having control over their content, and I was just wondering if you could block that off and whether that's built in.
You see, the most coolest thing about WordPress and about WordPress Multisite too, that you can customize almost everything that you can imagine, right? So by default, you have no control what the subsites are publishing. You have subsite, and administrator there can publish whatever he wants. But of course, you can get some custom plugin. You can write it by yourself or order it to check whether this content has, for example, some words prohibited, right? For example,
yeah.
Or some videos or something. And the same way as the lady asked about the notifying about the changes, you can be notified about the unwanted content in your network, and that's all.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, this will be the last question, if there is one. Is there one? No? I can't see anything. So once again, thank you very much, Sabrina.